Welcome to another session with me. Before I start on today's conversation, I'd like to tell you that our sessions will now be called the Strategic Communication Moments. So it's StratCom Moments for short. Thank you and stay tuned. We'll be talking about communication, work relationships, and results. But before I continue, I'd like to ask, which do you think is more important in fostering a healthy work relationship and achieving the results that you would like, that is expected really? Do you think it's time, energy, talent, or communication? I'd like to hear from you. You would agree that in the work environment, a lot of emphasis is put on the talents, first the results to be achieved. So because of the results in front of us, we tend to think, so who's best to handle it, what time do we want to achieve it, and the kind of energy we want those to achieve it to bring to the table in achieving this result. So these three elements, time, talent, and energy, form the basis for which people are hired, contractors are gods, consultants are sought, campaigns are arranged. But we tend to forget that in order to be able to mix all these elements properly and get the right results that we want, we need to manage our relationships in the workplace. And what better way to do that than by communication? Yesterday, I saw a post, someone tweeting saying communication really isn't what makes a relationship work, it's more of comprehension. But you would know that by now, you would agree that comprehension is actually inside of communication. If I haven't shared anything with you, where would you find comprehension? So in achieving results, after you've gathered a group of people who have the right talent, who have the right energy and motivation, and you've agreed on a time frame to achieving your results, it will be totally useless if they're unable to properly communicate with themselves and foster a good enough relationship for the goal to be met. Let's get to know these elements. We first have the time being the specific duration that you have decided to engage an activity or to show to the world what you've been working on. And you have the talent is skills. Yes, you have the time to want to achieve something, but if you do not have the skills to put in the work and achieve it, then your time becomes useless. Then you have the energy. We have people with low energy, we have people with high energy. Sometimes you have people with low energy who have the talent to do the work. Then you have a mix of those who have very high energy with the talent to do the work. And sometimes both this group of energies would be in the same team. I think that's what people now coin to be positive energy and negative energy. We can't necessarily want to do away completely with the negative energy. We just have to be able to manage that negative energy or the low energy. And what better way to do it than having the right communication to motivate energies? Now, people with high energy sometimes would want to carry the entire project on their head, and sometimes make the others who seemingly have low energies to feel, okay, if you think you can do it on your own, go ahead. But if you had the right communication to mend them together, then you would have the right results. And that's why we're talking about communication, work relationships, and results. So the common denominator here in this mix is communication. There is absolutely no way that you would achieve your result if you do not have the right words or the right things to say to get people to move their bodies to achieve something. Now we know that communication transcends beyond just talking to the next person beside you. There's also some level of communication within yourself when you have a task to do. So if, for instance, you have a deadline to submit some project at 11 a.m. and you wake up really lethargic and do not want to do anything, maybe you just want to scroll on your phone. There are times when you tell yourself, focus, face the work at hand. That's communication. Now you're trying to motivate yourself to doing something and achieving the task. That's with yourself. Now, you are in an environment where you have to do something or achieve a task with a co-worker. You're serious about it. He wants to do something else. You have to have a conversation. You have to have a plan. And the ability of the two of you to be able to communicate and say, okay, I'll handle this between now and that time when you pick it up. Or, you know what, go ahead before me. I'll get back to you and we can join forces and achieve this goal. That's communication. So if you don't have such a session, you don't have such a time to communicate with your coworker or to share with your coworker why you can't be on that task at that time and need him to help you go ahead while you catch up, there will be some friction. So your talent, your time, your energy would go to waste. Most times when we talk about strategic communication, I know that our minds quickly go to the very large things, but sometimes that's not it. A simple, please, can you handle this between now and 2 p.m.? I'll join you because I have something else to do, could actually do the trick. Sometimes people just want to hear from you and know that you acknowledge what they're doing and you are part of this project. So if I'm doing something and you do not say to me, I'll join you at some time, at some point, I would just carry on doing it the way I have decided to. So I would have a strategy to achieving that goal. But then you come later and say, oh, why did you do it this way? You didn't say that to me, so I won't have known. So a simple feedback here and there. We're working on this. How do we go about it? We decide on it. 1, it brings us together. 2, it helps us understand ourselves better. And when we're defending that project, we'll have similar words to strategies that we have put in place to achieving the project. A point to note is get involved. There are some organizations that team members do not necessarily have to work together all the time. So depending on the project that is being done, the teams could be shuffled. So when you find yourself in the midst of people, because you know that, oh, tomorrow we'll probably not be in the same team, you want to keep it strictly business and not want to get involved in conversations. You just let's do the work. I have the talents, I have the skills, let's do the work, and then we finish it and then we go our separate ways. But no, it's in the on business-like conversations, if I can put it that way, that you are able to learn how to deal with your team members when it comes to the business project. So get involved. They're talking about something, talk about it. You could have a solution that would help them in their personal life, and so that when you have a work project, they will naturally want to come to you because somehow they have your trust on their personal life. You know, it's our personal lives that help us make judgments in the work environment. If we're suffering at home, we tend to think that the people in the office want to suffer us all the more. But if we can have some level of trust and confidence, I mean, the reason you came to get that job in the first place was because you thought that you qualified to get it, and that you didn't get from the workplace. You got it from your home or from wherever, from whatever, or friends. I mean, sometimes your friends will tell you, oh, you qualify, and then you're confident enough to join in a conversation. So if you're in a work environment and they're having a conversation that you think is healthy but not business-like, you could chip in your own information. That way you earn trust, and that way you know your team members to work with them. So get involved. So now we've talked about 3 things that could help foster a good working relationship to achieving work results. The first one is listening attentively to your team members so that you now understand their tone, their texture, the kinds of words that motivate them, their highs and low moments, what time of day they're more active, and then getting involved. Getting involved actually is what will help you understand the highs and lows, the tone of their voice, the texture. Watch their relationships with others. It may be that when they're talking to you, they're very polite, but then they're talking to some other person and they're freer. So you begin to understand why is he freer with that person? What am I saying that he doesn't quite understand? So that when you're working on a project together, you would know how to put all of these things into a mix. It seems like a lot of work, but we all do it. I mean, we know when to ask for certain things just to please us. So we are always watching. So if it has to do with getting the right results, why not put it into practice? So thank you for joining in today on Strategic Communication Moments. And remember, like I always say, if you haven't understood a conversation totally, then communication has not taken place. So make every effort to get clarity. Until next time when I see you, bye bye.